as we move forward. And let me share the screen. So I will show this for a minute or two. So please take a look through these questions and see what interests you and things that you would like to talk about. Okay, I'll keep this up for another 30 seconds or so.
Chris, will you share this in the chat or somehow so that we can use it later?
I can try to copy and put in the chat. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let me find a Word version of it.
Just a great list of questions that we could use different ways.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing here and I will try, oh, no, it's too long to do as one whole message. Let me try breaking it down into, we'll do 1 through 5. That's still too long. How about 1 through 4? Five through 10. Okay, all of the questions are listed now in the chat. So again, this is your time. I am happy to help, facilitate, but you all have the wisdom here. So any thoughts or any things that any questions that you would like to discuss? Go ahead, Holly. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really blessed because I'm in the 5495 district. So we do have a virtual RYLA, and our problem is our schools and the Interact clubs are just, there is one in Sedona where I live, but they just don't correspond to us. They are limited activities. How do we reach those students in our schools to even go to a virtual RYLA? He's talked about going on Instagram, but you got to get the kids in it on Instagram, so I've had, and the person that leads our Interact group, it doesn't correspond. So, and I physically don't want to go to the schools. I don't think they'd even let me go into the school. What is the best way to recruit people, even if there is a virtual RYLA? Does anybody have any great ideas? Okay.
I'm sorry. Listening to Colton and Asa talk, I think it would be really beneficial to talk to probably people who have a lot of experience with social media. It seemed like they did a lot of recruiting through their social media. So maybe talk to your RYLA counselors, like your junior counselors and everything like that, to see if they have any ideas as well. I think it could really be helpful in recruiting people.
Yeah, that's the finding those people to even recruit for me is my real difficulty. But yeah, we're just reaching out to individual students that we know, but that's not a very good way. But yeah, it's a tough one. Thanks.
Does your club support an Interact club in the school?
Yes, we do. And basically the school is not having any clubs because of the COVID. They're limiting their extracurricular stuff, but there is supposedly a RYLA club, but I'm just getting no response from the supposed Interact person. So
Our Interact club gets together every Wednesday for a virtual meeting for 45 minutes. And so we're able to recruit through them.
Oh, good.
And the numbers that attend the meetings have ranged anywhere from 8 to 20, you know,
Okay.
it varies, but they're very excited about it. We're just starting to work on the virtual RYLA for grades 8, 9, and 10.
Great, thank you. I'll keep working.
I think also a great way to do it is have a meeting in your district with the presidents. Just set up a meeting with all the presidents and the youth chairs in your district. It's really easy nowadays to do that. And Instagram, I think, is a great way to reach these kids, because it feels like wildfires when you put something on Instagram. And you can have even some interviews with some of the kids or the chairs on Instagram, and you'll be amazed how it goes like wildfire.
Yeah, thank you. And there was Loretta put in the chat there, use high school principal or staff as another good idea if you have any existing relationships with any principals or staffs. That great idea. What else? So what else would you like to talk about? Go ahead, Mary Ann.
This is Melody. I'm sorry, none of my
Melody,
face on. But hey, listen, I've got a question. 5320 is bringing in an outside facilitator to run their program, and it's not inexpensive. Is anybody on here from 5320 that can talk to that real quickly? Does everybody know that program that they're going to do? Nope. Okay, never mind.
I do. I believe that is Lane Calvert's district.
It is.
Yes, and I overheard, and I am just overheard in our last planning meeting for our task force that they are keeping the price the same as
$300 per student.
Right, as it has in the past. I know in my district 5170, I serve as the service chair, and there's been some grumblings. Our RYLA has typically been 6 days, which about $625, and this time around they're going virtual and it's $200. And there's some grumblings from Rotarians saying that even $200 is a lot. So my own personal feeling on it is it's up to each district, as to what they think, is palatable. I know many RYLA programs, are subsidized by Rotary clubs or districts. And then there are some RYLA programs that are also, that are paid by the camper or the family. So there's a lot of different models, but Melody, I don't have, any more specific information on that.
Maybe one other question to follow up on that is, at what point is it, and please don't take this wrong, is it worthwhile to do all this work from 0 to 25 kids that you get, 25 to 50? I really don't know what a successful rate of getting kids, because in LA specifically, we are so locked down. We don't have any access, and LAUSD doesn't even let us join their interact meetings because of school policy. So I don't know. How big does anybody think your RYLA is going to be, and what is a success you consider a success? 100 kids? Anybody? Marie?
Yeah, I just have a comment. Marie Baker from District 5400. I'm in Idaho, so we're not nearly as locked down as a lot of you are. But I'm going to say something about touching kids and being the butterfly effect. This morning, this has nothing to do with RYLA, but it has to do with how we affect students. My husband got a message 20 years later from someone he impacted as a wrestling coach. And the young man said, "You changed my life. You changed how I was a leader at school and in my family, and you changed my son's life." So I guess what I would say is, it doesn't matter if we have 3 or 300. we will change someone's life. And if you think about one person's life, it's going to make a difference. And you can tell I'm passionate, and I know it's a ton of work, but it cemented that for me today when he got that message. And I thought, wow, we have no idea 20 years later what they're doing for our world. So I just throw that out there to inspire each of us, because it's all hard. We're all thinking we're going to do all this work. We don't know who's going to show up. We're dealing with that in our district as well. And it just reminded me, it was probably a message that I needed to hear this morning. All of us, as we're
Thank you. I needed to hear it.
Yeah.
I needed to be reminded.
Yeah, it's hard. We're all giving up our Saturdays, and we're thinking about, gosh, it's like pushing rocks, a huge boulder up a hill. But I just was reminded, one person, one young person who builds a life and a family, and they teach their kids to do the same, it affects all of us.
Thank you, Marie, for the definitely wisdom. Go ahead, Mary Helen, sorry.
Hi, I'm Mary Helen. Hi, Sab. I'm Mary Helen Tuttle, and I'm the I'm the youth chair for youth co-chair for District 5330. I think I just have a statement, a takeaway from listening to, now, I don't know how old all of you are, but I see some faces that are definitely younger than me. The takeaway I got from listening to those young people who spoke earlier is we're old farts trying to plan a program for young kids, and we doing a virtual program. It scares me. Yeah, it's kind of out of my wheelhouse, that's for sure. And it makes me realize how really important our rotor actors are. They're the ones that planned all these things. That's who those young people were. They're not us. They're rotor actors. And I think that maybe it makes me think as a youth chair that we need to inspire our rotor actors. And one of the projects they can do is to plan these virtual RYLAs. And we can just be the mentor. They're the mentors, really. What are we? We're observers. We're the old farts that make it happen. I don't know. I think that this virtual stuff, to make it real interesting, is a young people's game. And I think the young people are the rotor actors. And I think we need to get them going. What do you think? That's my thought.
I will comment on that for a second, and I will answer a question or comment on number 7 of your questions, whatever. And we have started a RYLA in Ukraine, and personally, I went to Ukraine 2 years ago, started that. But this last year in July, we held a virtual RYLA, and the way we held it is we held it as an international virtual RYLA. And Mary Helen, you are absolutely right. Because what we did, we formed platform. We made platform for everybody on WhatsApp and on Instagram and also on Facebook. And you can go on Facebook and look for Rotor Act for Peace. There are about 1,700 Rotor Act that we were able to bring together. And with all the platforms, there were over 3,000 of them. So the minute we announced the international RYLA, we had 720 entries for international RYLA. We have all the big wigs in Rotary International come and speak at that RYLA. But the interesting thing is that the Rotor Act from Pakistan were the moderators for the whole RYLA. And they were having a big production, like a TV production. The minute you finish the name, they're on. They're all the programs ran by the Rotor actors and then Peace Fellows in the world, and also by Mediators Beyond Borders. So all these speakers and the games that they brought in, these young people, us mature retirees, we cannot do it. I mean, I can tell you that we cannot do it. The games that they played for for 15 or 20 minutes and came up with results, you would say, where are they going with this? So I think, Mary Helen, you're absolutely right. It's proven. Now we are planning one on the 28th to the 30th of July, and it's going to be also a hybrid and virtual. So it's going to be in Ukraine again, and we meet every week for it. So on Tuesday. And if anybody like to see those platforms, I can share some of the platforms over here so you can see how these kids work together. And you know what? They do their own thing. We just facilitate for them and bring the speakers, some of the big speakers, but some of the young speakers that they come from Rotaract and from the exchange students and stuff. It's amazing what they can do. It's amazing. So
Great, thank you.
thank you.
Go ahead, Marianne.
Yes, Marianne Roja, and I'm with District 5170. My club is the Livermore Rotary Club. And we're very fortunate that we have a great Interact group. They've been meeting again since about October. They meet every Thursday, and I'm the youth services chair for our club. And I try to chime in when I can. I still work, so if I can get to their meetings, it's usually like 11:15 to about 11:40, 11:45. And, you know, we discuss things and they have like an icebreaker and they're really a fun group. And they are planning to go to the Winter Power leadership meeting. That's going to be, I think, the 13th and 14th of February. We have 3 of the kids that are going there. We will definitely have at least 3 students going to RYLA when we have that. That's in the planning mode. They're just wonderful kids, and they're so energetic, and you can just tell they're going to be great leaders because they're already great leaders right now. And I'm so pleased to be able to join them on Thursday. Right now they're planning an auction, a basket auction for February 10th meeting, that they raise money for the different projects that they're going to do during the year, and all of it, you know, bid on them, and they're bid quite high. So they end up with usually between $1,000 and $2,000 to go towards any of the projects that they're going to have. So just wanted to comment, we're very fortunate with our group, and they seem to be very strong, and they're already leaders in their high school. So anyway, just that kind of comment. I think it's wonderful that we have these groups in our school. It does make a difference.
Great, thank you, Marianne. Appreciate it. And I know your club is doing some great work. So thank you. Any other thoughts or things you'd like to discuss? We have about 10 minutes remaining before we go back into the large group session. So this is opportunity if anyone has any questions that they or would like to address or like to discuss.
Chris, real quick, will they be sharing the actual games that they have put together, or is there a location that we can actually pull up some of those virtual games that don't have these fabulous young Rotaractors and they have to rely on us old farts?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good question. I think that they are, I know that there's been in the chat, there was some contact information. I don't think that they're going to be providing the specific games, but you can always reach out to the leaders and ask for them.
Okay, thanks. Is everybody in this group actually going to try to do a virtual RYLA? Is there anybody that is not?
I'm Mary Helen from District 5330 again. So we're still wanting to have a in-person RYLA. We did have to, we made the decision this week, right? You know Mike, right, Melody?
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, we made the decision this week to can our spring RYLAs that we were planning, but we have our fingers crossed where I happen to be the co-chair for our Pride Camp, which is an overnight camp for 12-year-olds, modeled after RYLA, but it's only one night, 2 days versus 3 days. And we're hoping maybe we can get in a RYLA in December. It's really dependent on the school districts out here, but I'm thinking, why couldn't there be a project? Why can't you have both, you know, for students whose parents won't allow them to come to an in-person RYLA, perhaps in the fall? Maybe the Rotaract clubs can work on having a virtual RYLA program. Do you think that they would compete against each other? Just curious. Things I'm thinking of.
One thing, Marie Baker, again, District 5400. One thing that we're considering, and we have some RYLA team members on this training, is to do some virtual RYLAs. And it also, because of the cost, it allows more students to participate. We have a really a big, huge district, and we have some remote areas where the parents may or may not let them come to a 3-4 day in person. So we're using this, we are planning to do a leader training in person late August. We just approved that. We think we'll be able to pull that off. It's not as many people, but then spin into virtual RYLAs that don't take the place of an in-person RYLA, but you know, and it may be different teams and we're not sure how it's going to look, but it is about impacting and allowing and mentoring more youth. And, you know, typically we have about 85, but if we could grow this, and as you said, to two separate kind of things, it would be great, Mary Helen. That's kind of what we're thinking. We don't, it's the drawing board. And I just want to say, Chris, to you and the team, thank you so much for the authenticity and the transparency and the willingness to share, because it helps all of us. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Go ahead, Nina.
I am District 5440 in Colorado, Wyoming area. And right now we're just really exploring every opportunity that we can have. One of my biggest struggles is we have a lot of diversity in how we are handling COVID where I'm at. My school districts are live in class. And so we're looking at doing some small RYLA type conferences with school districts. So we would almost be cohorting with school districts. I'm the current chair of one of our Young RYLA weeks. So we actually have some possibility to maybe do some live stuff, but keeping it within communities since our kids are live anyway. And then also as larger district, we do team up with another district looking at this virtual possibility. But I think we have a unique opportunity to be able to do some different things. Just mini, obviously we're not going to do overnight camps and all of that, but something that we could do in parks. I actually ran one last summer where it was a 4-day, we met in just a local park and ran some activities in July. So we were in the height of COVID and it worked remarkably well. Like I said, some of our successes were working in cohorts. So.
Is anyone interested in actually getting together and doing a virtual RYLA with another district? You just said you were interested, but I mean, I'm going forward like 1st of May. If anybody is, contact me. I'm open.
I just posted about the three platforms that you can go on, and you can even join them and see other activities in the world, what they're doing, the Rotaract or the RYLA. So you can create your own group and communicate through those platforms. And it's proven that those platforms right now is probably one of the best communication system that around the world. We had Barry Racine today speaking, and we have people from over 25 countries. So, and communicating through those platforms. So the more you expose our kids also internationally right now, and it's a great opportunity. I think it is, the more they will gain from the world and see how things are done in the world. Because the youth in in actually in the Far East, Southeast Asia, the youth are so active right now, and our kids can learn a lot from them, and that's why Southeast Asia is exploding with membership, and we are really losing a lot of membership. I think exposing our children to other cultures and other where they are active, and that will make them more international, and that's what we want them to be. And once you expose them to international, then they probably will become Rotarians in the future, and that's where also our hope will be in the future.
Job, I understand the platforms you're reaching out on social media, but when you actually present, are you using Zoom? Are they using Zoom as their format, or VFairs, or C? I mean, that's what I'm wondering. It's basically Zoom.
Basically Zoom for the meetings. Some of them use WebEx, but basically Zoom. Especially right now, Zoom has expanded what they do right now. But for platforms, we communicate through Messenger, we communicate through Instagram, our YouTube. It is an amazing thing to see the young people, how they communicate. We are learning a lot from them. So we're following their footsteps when it comes to how to spread the word. You know, to spread the word and have 720 entries and 510 attended RYLA last summer. That was amazing to see. That was really amazing to see. So and the ideas that poured from all over the place, it's tremendous. I mean, you could not. I mean, even the Hogernack was impressed with them. I mean, the secretary also attended the meeting and spoke. So it's a great opportunity right now, but you need to have more together so they can benefit from each other, and then you can have these big wigs, we call them, to come in and benefit from them.
So I'm actually the moderator of the whole meeting, so I'm going to close the rooms now. So you'll have a minute to go back to the main session. But thank you so much for joining. And our last part of the meeting will be talking about youth protection and diversity, equity, inclusion. So look forward to seeing you back in the main room.